Wilder. Now you sit the hell down and you get things ready. Yeah, you good?
I'm okay, and yourself?
So what's up?
I just said I'm okay, and
Good.
yourself. You can't ask me the same question
I
twice.
just did. I'm asking you because, you know what, never mind. Welcome to the MainSplaining channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
Finally got it right.
I got it right.
Yeah. It wasn't a smooth take though, but
It'll do
it'll do.
for now.
It'll suffice.
Anyway, it's been a minute. That's what they say.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
What has been happening with you in the past week?
Been happening, you know what I mean? It's finding, it's like you want to find, I would use the word balance. You just want to find balance.
Yeah.
I mean, there's hardly any, but you try. Yeah.
You do what you can.
You do
where
what
you
you
can.
Yeah, where you can. But all in all, I was thinking,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the future.
Future of, or just the future in general? Future of what?
Of the country, the continent. You sent me that video. What is that guy? The president, or what is he?
I don't know. I don't know what that man is, but he's, man,
such a profound speech.
Very profound speech.
I mean, it's so honest. You know how you know something is, a speech, along those lines is honest, is when you involve yourself in that speech.
Yeah.
And you critique yourself.
Yeah.
I remember he was talking about, he said a couple of things.
Yeah.
But then,
it's Professor Patrick Lumumba.
Where is he from? Where is he from?
I'll let me just drop the volume here. Let me check where he's from, Patrick Lumumba. I don't know. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, he was talking about ministers, if I'm correct.
Man.
In terms of how much they spend on security. I mean, not for,
the people
themselves. For themselves. You always have these cars behind them.
Yeah.
In front of them. On top of that, you also got Metro Police.
And the police.
Yeah, they just,
In some instances, you have the army.
That costs money, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And when it comes to their
let's
security,
be specific to the fact that we're talking about African leaders here.
Yeah. Just to be specific.
And also the reason Africa is so behind. Also, I think our leaders are too into themselves. Yeah, man, like too much self-wealth, and they never have any solutions to our problems. Always expecting your China or your America or your Russia to come in and save them, or save us, the people. They make loans so that we may pay those debts, And each African leader does the same thing. They get into power, they accumulate more debt. And that's not to say that, European nations do not have debt, but you cannot compare an Africa with a Europe, and the consequences of debt as compared to a Europe and a Africa. you know, because I think people are gonna quickly run to that assumption that, or not that assumption, but to the fact that, you know,
We're
a
not the only
Europe,
ones.
yeah, I mean, European nations have debt too. So what is the difference, you know? And then the difference is that they are not particularly forced to pay debt the way that we are forced to pay debt, because we have things that they want from us, and so they pay, or we pay our debt by giving them
Yeah.
the things that we have.
You know what's interesting is when you say that, right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking about Africa and Europe and America. The interesting thing is, if it's something negative,
Yeah.
nobody can just take it, right? It has to be, yeah, but hey, Europeans do it too. America does it too. And it's always interesting to me because every time you're gonna hear them, and even in YouTube in particular,
Yeah.
you know, has you know, they are running with it where somehow I don't know if they are more special, you know, particularly black people to be specific. You know, I don't know, they have black people have this. It's always said, you can never see it, you just have to say it, you know, they're just special.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, what are they special about if they keep comparing themselves with the Europeans?
Yeah.
If their so-called specialness is measured by European standard, how special are they?
They needed another man to how can I put this? To solidify, or not even to solidify. No, the word has gone, but I mean to validate how great they are. You know, they're using another man's standard of greatness to say that they are great.
Because if you're saying, like now, what we're saying is, listen, African leaders are going the wrong direction. And then suddenly you're like, oh, but wait, Europeans are doing it. I'm like, then what are we talking about?
Yeah.
If you keep saying there's something was special, we don't think like them, then why do you keep comparing yourself with them?
It just doesn't. It doesn't
just
make
doesn't
sense.
make sense.
Doesn't add up.
You know, we call ourselves gods nowadays. You know, you wonder what the heck is a European then.
We die like dogs.
What kind of a god serves another human?
God that serves another god.
No, remember, Europeans are not gods. I don't know what they are.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know, but,
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
but somehow we serve them, and yet we are gods.
We are gods. I was having a conversation. Yeah. Not gonna mention any names or who the person was, but the conversation was about the fact that, you know, black people are great in that sense. And my question was, yeah, if we are great, can you elaborate or explain to me why Africa is the way that it is? You know, we've been colonized. You know, let's be blatant here. We don't have a handwriting, right? And people have, or black people in particular, have a tendency of claiming Egypt as
somehow Egypt
as a black man's nation.
And even so, Egypt is as large as Africa, right?
Yes.
So I guess we're all in Egypt.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
Just...
And you cannot say the same thing about Europe, though.
Yeah.
Because Europe, a majority of Europe, a good number, let me not say majority of, I don't know the stats, but was not primitive. When they got here, we were primitive, right? we lived by fire, right? We had huts, and not even like you had to bend to get into those huts, you know. So going back to the conversation that I'm having is, okay, so I hear we were great and all of that, you know. Can you explain why we don't have a handwriting, right? And can you explain why we, and in particular Africa, seem to not be advancing? It's like if as soon as the Europeans left and they gave us our so-called freedom, um, we did not improve, right? Our the growth rate was very, how can I put it? Very slow, very slow, very low. You know, there's no evidence of all of these things that you're claiming, right? They say South Africa, where is it? Is in somewhere in Joburg, is the cradle of mankind. I think that's supposed to mean that's the first existence or known existence of man. And
What's interesting about that is, you know, I mean, evolution is a conversation on its own again.
yeah, but then no, this it
It's
sort of it tires me at times, you know.
Yeah. We haven't
We
actually
need-
touched on it.
yeah.
Or not. I think
Yeah.
we should.
So the thing with that is also, you know, you have a slave, right? Apparently given their freedom, and then you have the slave master saying, "This is your history, you know. You were oppressed, and you shouldn't, you shouldn't. What's this? You shouldn't take crap from this particular race." You know, it is your slave master telling you, "Don't take crap from me," you know, and you still sit down and you listen to your slave master tell you that you shouldn't listen to your slave master. Right. I personally don't have a problem with white people, black people. We're all the same personally. I don't care. Makes no difference. And I only make this statement because there are people who see color, and for people who see color, you know.
You know, we're addressing that exactly. You know,
Yeah.
and trying to unpack their logic.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you're saying, man. It's like everybody thinks they can think for themselves, but
No.
they're just told how to think.
Yeah.
Going back also to the Africa, you know, is a cradle of mankind. And what people, and most people don't know that skull, the so-called skull that is apparently 1,000,000 years old or more, that's not a human skull.
Yeah.
It's 100% ape. That's not a human. There is no human there. It's an ape. The reason why they use it is because, again, evolution says that we came from apes. So they're going to start with the ape. And most of these skulls that are found do not have all the bones. Sometimes they just only have even 10%. Sometimes they even just find a jaw.
Yeah.
As I said, evolution is a conversation
On its own.
But going back to that, they'll believe it. Why? Why do you want to believe it? Right? Like any religion, I can come up with a theory. And I can enter it by saying it's scientific because everybody just believes it. Apparently, people don't question those guys for some reason.
And for some reason, wait, can I just talk just a little bit?
I can do that,
and people don't question, you know, scientists with qualifications, I guess, or people with qualifications. Because you know, if I say I'm a scientist and I have qualifications or I have a doctorate, you know, again we're going back to the conversation, right? I'm a scientist under whose standard? Under whose standard?
And never ask enough questions, because that's a good start. Under whose standard? Why should we believe you? You know, every here's an example. Someone does research, right?
Yeah.
someone does research, and it takes this person a decade, a whole decade, and then this guy has to sit down and summarize this, and then make sure if I'm writing this, people will understand, right? This research that I did, and so he tries his best, and then he does it, and then boom. It took that guy a decade, and we're blessed to learn that just within a day. Just within a day, boom, we're done. 10 years of research. Some might take you a week, but it will never take you even more than a month to start understanding, okay. But it took that person sometimes even more than a decade just for that information.
Yeah.
The point is this.
Sometimes it's generations.
Yeah, the point is this. I get science and all that, and it's I'm simplifying it, and then, right, depends in which, department you want to be, what kind of field you want to pursue. But those guys do those research, and when they come back with that information, we shouldn't be satisfied to say, well done, but we should also start asking, how did you come to that conclusion?
Thank you.
We shouldn't just take it. We just want to know, okay. You say, okay, a black person has a God gene. Now explain to me, what is that? What's that? Explain that to me. Right? You can simplify it. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. Even a car. How long did it take to actually really build a car? It took generation upon generation until we got something. But on top of that, how long does it take you to learn how to drive? Or just fix minor things? How long does it take you? So anything that is so complicated, believe me, it's not so complicated, right? The rest of the knowledge is yours, but I know for a fact you can make me understand how you came to that.
Yeah.
It's not as difficult. It's not so complex. So with the God gene, I just, why? And that's why, and I'm going back again because, I haven't reached that point yet. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Black people don't believe in evolution, most of them.
Yeah.
They know there's a white thing, but they're willing to believe that part. Why? Because somebody said, this is where an African originated. We are the first. Something to make them feel good.
Yeah. About themselves.
About themselves. They'll just take it. The rest, nah. Right. No, but okay, fine. God gene. What the gene? God. Yes, that's true. We do have it.
Yeah.
But what's a gene? We just have it. We got a God gene.
A friend of mine once said, this was in accordance to music, but he said the problem with us Africans is that we see, let's say for example, we see someone from the West, or in this case, like I said, since I'm gonna base it around music, you see a producer showing you what they are doing, right? And showing you how they are doing it. And you just end up doing exactly what they are doing, right? It's like, okay, you know how to do it, but you know why it was done that way. Right? It's like we don't ask why something was done a particular way. It's like we know the fact that, okay, that was done. Okay, we know how it's done, but do we know why? Right? It's like grass, for instance, like stadiums, and let's say you have a lawn in your backyard, or and so the thing about lawn also, and that I learned, is that there's different temperature lawns, and I say temperature, I mean in terms of time zones, right? So when you're at a different time zone, or not even time zone, but let's say you're in the south of the country, right? It's much cooler there. It's more humid there, and so there's a particular grass that thrives there that would be best for that particular area, right? And so there's different grasses, right? And most of them are engineered for those areas, And so we know that, okay, there's different grasses, but why are there different grasses, And so that's when you start unpacking how to take care of a particular grass, because it was engineered for a particular area. And so there's winter grass. In Europe, they use winter grass. They don't use the grass that we have here. We use more summer grass. And so for us Africans, we don't know how to ask. We don't ask why. We know how. We don't ask why. And so it kills us in terms of having to actually know how things work, and how, certain things particularly work by themselves. Yeah. So this is just adding on to what you were saying. It's just Africans, you don't you do at some point you don't blame people when they say we are lazy, because it is a form of laziness.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie, it is a form of laziness. You'd really think that maybe we would come to speed with how the rest of the world works. Again, it's a matter of leaders. We've monetized everything, right? And everything can be fixed with money.
Yeah, that's it's just the worst.
You know,
That's just the worst.
our lack of okay, so in Africa, our leaders are not particularly, and I'd say South Africa. I just put just my country, but our leaders are not educated. But even then, you could be educated, but you can't buy common sense. And so for those that are educated, they are outweighed by those that are uneducated.
Yeah. It's adding to what you're saying. It's a pity.
Yeah.
That it is that way. Right. I mean, if your leaders don't believe, because for me, I'm looking at the situation and I'm like, all I'm picking up is just,
Yeah.
they just don't believe in their own people. That's all I'm picking up. It's like, adding to what you said, it's like they after the Europeans, now they're running off to the Chinese or the Russians.
Yeah.
Always just finding a new master. They just can't do anything.
For
Can't
themselves.
really risk. What do they? It's weird because I don't understand. What the heck do you guys have to lose anyway? I mean, you got nothing. Why not just give your people the damn chance? I mean, you got nothing to lose. Nothing is yours. So why don't you just risk with your own people? But
again, then you would think
again that African mindset where you just have to be above, you just have to be above them, somehow. So if I come up with a great idea, it's you will never see it benefiting the nation. It's a matter of how dare he challenges us.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? Look at Elon Musk. The guy grew up here. Then he left. Fast forward, I mean, he's the richest in the world. And look at that.
Yeah.
He couldn't be that Elon Musk in South Africa.
He wasn't going to be given that chance.
No, he would never. He wasn't going to be.
I mean, he's white, most probably would have been.
Nah, but he would have never been given that chance. Because again, we have this misconception. Remember, there are already gatekeepers there.
Yeah.
White people that don't want to share that power.
Yeah.
They also like it when they are, other white people are down there. This one is for me. The rest of you guys, yeah, it's okay. You can stay a bit close. As you say, it's what they say about, plantations. You get the master and then you just get the rest.
Yeah.
The rednecks, the niggas, the house niggas, they're just all the
field
same.
niggas.
Field niggas, just they are the rednecks. I literally, the rednecks would never, and I mean ever, marry the master's daughter.
Yeah.
Ever. He's a redneck. How dare he? Just another poor white kid. Just watching over these other niggas. Just do that.
That's his duty.
Yeah. As hot as the sun is, stay right there. So fast forward, what has changed? Not much. Not much has changed. I mean, it wasn't even easy for Elon Musk in America itself. So, but because the way the market is structured, if you were to say it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
How many bright people have we met, man? How many?
I don't know, man. I think politics just ruined everything. Politics ruined
Make sure they
everything.
never give you that chance.
They make sure. I think it's in them. And again, you want to lead people with a spirit of fear. With a spirit of hatred. Because I don't want to lie to you, man. I've been around a whole lot of hateful leaders. And you start. It's even like on a small scale. Your councillors, they don't work for their people. And obviously this is something that has trickled down from the top, but you get a gist of what is actually happening at the top. So it's like, oh man, how are we ever gonna get ourselves out of this situation?
Makes you think, right?
No. Because as soon as they see as soon as they see you separate yourself from the bunch or grow at a pace that is quicker than the rest, they quickly chop you down, and they make sure that you need to get in line.
You need to get in line.
You need to get in line. That's
I mean, this was the part. This is exactly the part where it will always backfire.
Yeah.
You keep your people down. You make sure they never succeed in anything that can really benefit the country. For years you're doing that. Fast forward, you are tired of the way these other countries are treating you because they're not taking you seriously.
But you don't take your people seriously.
But it's funny, why would they when you don't even take yourself seriously? Because what kind of leader doesn't want its own nation to grow? Like, not even they do it over there. Literally, these guys are building their own countries.
Yeah.
Year after year. That's why they're called developed countries. They do that.
When you look at Germany, look at what Germany did. Again, for me, a Germany, a China, those nations are perfect examples of how to dust yourself off and get going.
They are. The very same China now is colonizing Africa.
When did China receive its independence?
Not so long ago. And I mean, China was just poor now.
What now? When is now? Like,
I can't be sure, but in the 90s, it wasn't even a powerhouse at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Just in the 90s, it wasn't even a powerhouse. In so much that America was helping China. Yeah. Fast forward, China is a threat to America. And it's funny how America always does it like the world is going to be a mess. Have you ever noticed that? I've been watching that recently. I'm like, every time these guys are talking, oh, you can't wait when China takes over. I mean, at that, no offense, but that's an American concern. It doesn't change anything for us. Right? That's just an American concern, not the rest of the world kind of concern. But Yeah, but that's how also I've noticed how they're sold in America. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're sold in so much. They forgot that they're just another nation. You know, nations get, you know, man. Nations come and go, man.
Yeah.
You know, nations just come and go. But not America. Yeah, it's like the biggest shock of all shocks. Now China's coming. Yeah, if it's time, it's time, man. The heck.
I mean, look
Europe
at what
had-
they did to the
yeah, I
Middle
mean,
East. Look
yeah.
at what they've done to
Done
Africa.
Africa.
Look at what they did in Asia. You know, they've terrorized more continents than any other nation.
Those guys have pushed their military to the max. I think they got a base almost in every country. It's a few that they don't have, and these are the so-called peacemakers.
Makers.
These guys got bases in countries that are still in war.
Yeah.
And when you go there, they have their own McDonald's. It's nice and peaceful in their base. You know, and the rest, whatever's happening is happening there.
We'll see it.
We'll see. But now they are, oh no, China. If it's time for China, it's just time for China, man. The heck are they talking about?
I mean, honestly speaking,
they're talking about.
we don't want to be colonized or enslaved by anyone at this point in time. I mean, I would really like our freedom.
Yeah.
At this point in time, it would be really nice if our leaders came together. But again,
That would be
wish
a
we could
miracle.
continue this conversation. But
Yeah.
it's
That would be
also-
a miracle, though.
you know, that would be, you know, a MainMan coming out of the DA,
Yeah.
going his own direction, a Herman Mashaba going out of the DA and going his own direction, you know, everyone having their own movements,
Yeah.
you know, but with all of them with the same solutions.
It's insane.
The struggle for power in Africa is real.
It's deep.
It's deep.
It's really deep because they all have the common. They're the same. Not
Yeah.
entirely, but enough to say they're the same. Yeah, but all in all, we'll pick up where we left off.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
peace out.
Peace out.